What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here.
Rick Ginn here.
And we are live, ready to share exactly how to comp properties in 2025, step by step. That's right. I'm going to show you exactly today how you can actually go out here and comp your properties the right way. Every single year, we have to slap a couple people around to let them know that you are comping too much. We call it comping fatigue. And, one person just brings me over the edge where we decide we have to go live and share this. But so many of y'all will spend 45 minutes, an hour comping properties. And what we're going to do today is show you how to comp really, really, really quick. Like, we have a lot of videos on YouTube, right, for the past 8 years, how to comp in 5 minutes, how to comp in 60 seconds, 57 seconds, all these things. But like, comping fatigue is a real thing where you guys overcomp and overanalyze and do all these things. Now, obviously, yes, lowballing is the best. Don't worry about comps, but you should roughly at least have a general sense of how to do it. Now, the thing is, I'm really good at what I do. So if you give me a property, within 3 minutes, I can generally be with about 85, 90% accuracy, just kind of speed running the whole thing and knowing exactly how to do it. Comping is one of those skills where it seems very, very hard, but it's really simple. And we're going to share exactly how to do it today, right?
Yeah. So guys, this is the math part of wholesaling.
Oh, yeah.
And is it the most important? No, but it's vitally important to you actually getting your assignments and getting your profit. So you can't do wholesaling. I mean, you could technically do wholesaling and skip it, but if you want to maximize your profit, we need to figure out how to comp. So we need to simplify it. So we ready?
Let's go.
Okay. So let's jump into it and let's teach you how to do comp as a wholesaler. Now, full disclosure, if you're a realtor or anything like that, if you're operating as a realtor, please either leave the video or switch and put on your wholesaling cap, because I am going to teach you the opposite way. There are some similarities, but you need to understand because you need to use comping as a wholesaler. So rule number one, I'm going to give you a lot of rules on this. This is the Rick and Zach rules. Number one, we seek motivation first, then comp. You see, the reason you guys all seek comping first is because you want to make sure you're certain and you have the answer. Well, suck it up, Buttercup, because you're wasting time comping. On average, it takes most of you 10 to 25 minutes to comp. 10 is you're really good. 25, you don't kind of know what you're doing because then it goes on for days. If I had 100 leads and before I called everyone, I wanted to comp every one of those leads, you're looking at what, like 25 hours. Yeah. I'd rather you take that 25 hours and put it towards marketing, cold calling, SMS texting, reverse driving for dollars, go getting your code violations list. You get the picture. Most of your time has to be spent on marketing and a small percentage on comping. Which ones do we comp? The ones that have motivation. Why waste your time? If I have 100 leads and 5 want to talk to me, 2 or 3 are worth comping. That's it. Does everybody understand that? The reason why you guys overcomp is because you want to get comfortable because you're wildly uncomfortable in wholesaling. Stay there. Do not waste your time. You do not get paid to comp. You're not a realtor. Most realtors don't get paid to comp. Not sure why they do that. So everybody understand that. Rule number one. The next one we have to understand, the whole point of comping is the apples to apples argument. Like that's it. You got to find an apple to an apple.
End the stream here.
There we go. Guys, have a great day. You've got all the rules. I'll see you in the next live stream.
Everything else doesn't matter compared to this. Like comps is short for comparables. Find comparables. You're not going to compare an orange to an apple to an apple. Simple.
It's simple. Everybody understand that. You can't, like, if you have extreme houses in the neighborhood, you got to find to match them up. This is what I call the common sense test. So if you were going to personally buy a house and move your family in it, you want to get an accurate price. You want to look at a few houses that are similar to it. Like, don't overthink it. Next one. Comps are estimates. You're never going to nail the number. No. It's not supposed to. It's so funny. If you guys ever heard the word, so let's talk about a few words in there. You hear the word appraisal, which is not, so an appraisal is a permission slip for a bank to loan money. That's all it is. And by the way, appraisals are conservative. Why? Because they don't want to overlend on it. So think about a comp kind of like an appraisal, like you don't have to pay for an appraisal. You don't want to nail the top number. See, but a lot of you guys have to try to nail the top number and seek it because you've over contracted your property. So think kind of like an appraisal. The other one is BPO, which is broker's price opinion, which is like a cheap form of an appraisal by a broker or a realtor. And guys, they're estimates. They just got to be in the close range. Now, here's the good news is we're wholesalers. We're going to buy way below. Yeah. So you don't stop spending hours trying to do comps because you're not listing the property. Does everybody understand that? Okay. Now, your next question is, Rick, how do we actually determine the true value of the property? This is the catch all. Like you want to feed the tiger, but you can't go behind the bars because you know the tiger is going to take you out. But the only way to satisfy the tiger is get behind the bars. So the reality is the price of the property is determined by your buyers. But the problem is that happens after the fact. So we have to do comps. It's the only way to do it. Values are determined by what a buyer and a seller agree upon. So does everybody understand that? Okay. Now I'm going to start shaking you. So if I could pull the camera in, I'd shake you. This is the part I do it. Stop overcomping. We are not realtors. The reason realtors try to nail it like just perfect. I've seen realtors work for days, if not weeks on comps. And before you guys have heard me, if you're spending more than 10 minutes, you're doing it all wrong. And honestly, with the new softwares today, like XLeads, I'm at like 2 minutes, but I'll give you 5 today. But we've got to stop looking at comping like a realtor because it's not going to help you. Think about this. If I'm trying to get something 20, 30, 35% below market value, why am I going to spend an extra hour trying to get that last 2 to 3% of the property? I don't care. I'm not going to it. This is what we do, guys. This is where it's dropped on here. We buy at the lowest deep discounted contracts and we sell them to cash buyers. Now, never have me and Zach said we sell them for retail to cash buyers because why would a cash buyer buy our contracts? So they think they can make money off of it. And here's the secret. They should make money off of you. Otherwise, they have no incentive to buy your contract quickly. If they want to pay market value, they will go through a realtor, they'll go through financing, and they'll drag it on 30, 45 days. Okay. If I'm asking someone to churn 7, 10, or 14 days, you have to give them an incentive. And our incentive is a deep discount. Did you hear the word? It's deep. It's deep discounts. So those of you guys going out looking 5 to 10% discounts, you can get lucky every now and then, but in today's market, that's barely even going to cover the closing cost on it. So we buy low, super low. That's where you make your money. And we do an estimate for the comp of what we anticipate it selling to our cash buyers. And remember, they finish the property, take 3 or 6 months, and sell it to the retail market. So you've got to understand what your customers want. We've been talking about doing intel with your cash buyers. This is where that part comes in. So does everybody understand? We're going to check for questions here, and we're going to kind of keep on moving. Awesome. Okay. If you got a question, put it in there and we will figure it out. So now that you understand how the prices are determined, let's just go on some guidelines. And guys, listen, hang on. We're just going to go through some rules, and then we're going to go through the actual step-by-step process.
We'll comp some properties for you live. We'll show you how to do it.
And we'll show you exactly how to do it.
We'll show you how to do it for free using free tools, and we'll show you how to do it using paid tools too. Okay.
Everybody with me so far? So, comping guidelines. Number 1, a sold property is the holy comp grail.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, well, Rick, there's one on the market. So you're going to have what we call active properties. These are properties that are available on the market. You're going to have, and that implies it's either on MLS, it's a FSBO, or someone's put it out for publicly for sale. Number 2, you're going to have what they call a pending sale, which means it's under contract. They just haven't closed it. That could show in Zillow. It can show in XLeads. It can show on MLS. It doesn't matter. And then you're going to have sold. Guys, sold is gold. Remember that.
Woo.
Sold is gold.
Okay.
Sold means we've revealed what the true value of what the buyer and the seller thought the property was. Pendings can fall apart because they have inspections.
Yeah.
Financing can call through. And then active, guys, let's face it, guys, a lot of the active listings are like wish list prices. And I do not put a lot of stock for what somebody lists it for. I do look at the trends of it. So please understand, when we go through the comp, the most important comp is the sold comp. Sold is gold.
Sold is gold.
Sold is gold. Okay. Now, the best comp you can possibly get is a sold comp from its own comp. You want to explain that?
Yeah. So if you're looking at a property trying to comp it, right, and it was sold 3 years ago, it's the best comp you're going to find. Like whatever the property sold for 3 years ago is a very good indicator of roughly where the market's at. Now, of course, the market's different than it is now than it was 3 years ago. But if that property sold for 200,000 3 years ago, it's not going to sell for 400. It's not going to sell for 100 though either.
Mm-hmm.
So you should have a general ballpark. If something sold for $200,000 3 years ago, it might be up to 230. It might be still at 200. It's very market specific, but you know that's a general range. And say how are property values in the past 3 years in this zip code? Zillow will show you. AI will show you. And you can generally just kind of add on the back of it, right?
Yeah.
Unless the crazy renovations are being done. Most of the time, though, the house is worse off now than it was 3 years ago if it's an ugly house.
Yep.
But a lot of people don't look at that. It drives me crazy.
So if I have a sold comp and it sold a year ago, that is your holy grail.
Yeah.
And then you look at any factors, and then you're just looking for trends. Are prices pushing up or pushing down? Now, the one thing I forgot to guys tell you is, well, people do like this square foot per analysis. That's like a realtor thing. I don't
It's not
really,
terrible. But
it's not terrible, but all they do is take the sold price and divide it by the number of square feet under air. So if we know that a sold comp is the holy grail and the property's own comp, if it's recent, 36 months or less, obviously the smaller the number, the more accurate it is. And it also depends if you have a increasing market, a seller's market or a buyer's market. So we're moving into a buyer's market for a predominant part of the country. But once again, all real estate is local. So please don't overlook it. Now, here's what we're going to do. We are now going to take the comping guidelines, and I'm going to give you the criteria of what I feel as a wholesaler is the most important. Now, some of them blend and they're about equal weight, but this is the bottom line of what a comp is derived from. So we always work from the property itself. We look at the recent, we look at the data when it was sold. Sometimes a property was sold 25 years ago, and you got to go out in the field and find it. So if we're doing that, the number one rule is always going to be proximity. Now we're going to show you how to work filters and stuff, but my rule on this is, roughly a mile. Like I'm starting within a mile.
Yeah.
If I can go to 0.75, 0.5, or even 0.25, the closer you get more accurate, but the less data you'll have. So once again, common sense. Guys, you cannot pick comps in a different zip code. If you have to go to a different zip code, it's going to be hard to comp that property. Does everybody understand that? We have to stay in the comp. The next one, square feet under air. And we go, whoa, sometimes certain counties include the garage and stuff. You have, once again, apples to apples. Nobody overly cares what's in the garage except for the guys. But I look at square foot under air. So it'll see SQUA on a lot of the tax codes on the property records. This is critical. Now, I'm going to tell you, square footage tells me a lot about a property. So you all have some screwy markets in your local markets, especially your virtual markets. We have a market so in Florida in general, anything under 1,000 feet, it cannot be a 3-bedroom. So remember, 1,000 feet, if you put in three,
couple.
They're more like a rat maze. There's just no living area. There's hallways and bedrooms.
There's a couple in older areas.
In the older homes, it was common to have houses 1,000 feet. But in modern day, an acceptable one is 12 to 1,500 square feet. Now, why do I know this? Because it's local and familiar to Florida. As I go to different states, you'll have different rules and you want to understand it. But square footage is the holy grail to figure out Like I can look at square footage without looking beds or bath and tell you what the average consumer wants. If I see a 1,500 square foot house in Florida, people expect at least a 3.2 out of it, hopefully a 2-car garage. So I look at square footage. Now, the next one, that you can do it, is a number of beds and baths.
Mm-hmm.
And beds and bath is simple because I've seen on this where I've seen 7 bedrooms and 1 bath. Now that tells me it's probably not going to be a desirable retail home. It is going to be more of like a rental home. But some of these older homes, the records are so inaccurate. There's so many additions on the home, you can't make heads or tails of it. So look at bed baths. I will tell you, the more baths you add, the more desirable the home is. I don't need to go into details on that one for you. Does everybody understand that? Now, if we understand that proximity, square footage, bed baths, what's going to be the next logical thing? The only thing, and I'm talking about the bigger parameters, is going to be the lot size. So most Florida homes are usually a 1/4 acre. Now, a more desirable home, and you're going to get significantly more if it sits on an acre, if it sits on a corner lot, that goes a little bit, not so much in proximity, but kind of some things we're going to talk about on the features of it. But if I sum it up, now notice I did not put condition in there because condition is just a number you take off the final comp. Condition, and we'll get that to the end of it. I don't start with condition because I'm looking what is the highest and best use of a property. Yeah. And remember, as a wholesaler, what I want to do is I want to comp the property for what it's worth today. Most realtors will comp you for the potential, and the ARV should be the potential, but the reality, guys, and we're going to talk about it, a lot of these houses are far from their potential. In fact, me and Zach encourage you to go out and seek houses not at their peak potential, because whenever we can add value, there's opportunity. Now, we add the value by finding the property, not fixing it up. You will make listen to me, you will make so much more money as a wholesaler seeking discounted problematic properties than you're ever going to do as a fix and flipper. Mm-hmm. Do one fix and flip, it's going to tax you up to 6 months. How many can you do? Do you want a construction crew? Do you want to do payroll? Do you want to go at 7 in the morning, the job site, check in at noon and check out at the end of the day and do it 6 days a week? 7, if you're really smart. I don't want to do that. I can make 10 to 30 grand, get in and out, and then I can keep finding the discounted properties. Remember, he or she that finds the best wholesale deals makes the most money. People will make money after you. The biggest problem you guys have is, do not be tempted to do the fix and flip. I did it. You will take a massive pay cut. You're going to need therapy. And remember, it's an entirely different business. Don't you agree on that? So many people are so tempted to do the work. And I'm telling you, I don't even want you touching a paintbrush. I don't want you touching a pressure cleaner. And I definitely don't want you touching a dumpster. But those are the first 3 things we have a handyman attack on a wholesale deal, maybe. But guys, I see it every day. I'm gonna fix it up myself.
You thought the cost of labor is crazy back then?
If you're
all I can say is we've had a couple workers over the years get picked up by accident driving around,
especially in Florida,
and they've never been seen again. And they were our best guys. And so that's all I could say. Imagine now.
So guys, we have to understand. I'm telling you, man, some of you guys getting comping, and I'm going to give you the truth. I'll give you a statement that most people won't tell you. Most people that wind up getting fix and flip is because they were wholesalers. They overpaid for a property. They couldn't sell it. And then they got caught. Well, if I fix it up, I could probably squeeze 10 or 20 grand out of it. Yeah. And then you're going to learn a whole new learning curve, because guys, here's the secret. Once you start taking apart, and especially an older house that already has issues, if it has code violations, I mean, it has issues, older roofs, foundation issues, this is where you get in the undetermined profit area. And this is what the speculation part is. Now, if I'm buying at $100,000 discount and I make a quick 30, 40 grand, and then I let the rehabber do it, it's up to them to figure it out. I've literally seen houses where they bought it. I've touched the wall, and after I've owned it, the entire wall falls down because the termites ate all these structures in the wall. I did not equate $15,000 for tenting, rebuilding the wall and redoing the bathroom. And that's where numbers add up. If you don't believe me, go watch one of these like A&E shows.
I wouldn't do that.
They're retail shows. They have nothing to do with wholesaling. And most of them brought it from a wholesaler, but they won't show you, in my opinion, they don't show you the best part of the transaction, which is the guy or gal that spent their time and energy. They learned how to wholesale, freewholesaling.com, and then they sold to that guy, and then they had visions. And you know, people have grand visions. Oh, I'm going to make 100 grand. And then they do the designer, and then the guy's wife's out there with the paint swatches and the sample pieces. It's great for TV. It's horrible for wholesaling. So please keep that in mind. Now,
also, like we're talking really nitty gritty right now. On top of that, too, lot size. Just understand that if a property is, if a property is like, I don't know, like a full acre, but the acre is like really weirdly put out, where like you can't really use the full acre. It's kind of like weirdly like in a rectangle shape.
Yeah,
it's not as valuable. So you just got to understand that too. On top of this too, we're talking about all these like crazy nitty gritty things. Just understand, this is all the stuff we're looking for within 3 minutes. We're not looking through this for an hour. Okay, it's not like, okay, well, let's go look at this and then okay, no. Just understand that, and remember, we're talking about apples to apples here. So if we have any weird properties, we can understand that. So what's the next one in your rules here?
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm
right there.
Yeah. We did bet lot size. So we go over features. So then we get into features of the house.
And this is a lot quicker. This is not.
No, this is it. We just want you to understand, because this is going to be in most of the filters when you do it. So some I can't put in a piece of data for the feature. So the first one, does it have a pool? If you are getting ready to contract a house that has a pool, find comps with a pool.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, pools are a pain in the butt. They leak. They're always, they do have value, but you have to. So in Florida, they have a lot of value, but old pools that are neglected, most people fail to understand the cost of fixing up. Remember, you're not fixing it up, you're passing it off to somebody else. But if a pool adds 20 grand to the property, you need to account for it. Pools are significantly more now because the cost to build the average pool has gone like 3 to 4 times the average price. So we need it. If it's got a shed, does it have a separate garage? Sometimes the property records don't always reflect this, but that's when your motivated sellers will tell you this. Hey, is there anything special about the property? Now, obviously a pool should be on the records, and you want to do stuff like this. Now, here's another one that this is the one piece that you can't get from data, but like you can get from local knowledge. You can actually get this from your seller. You ready for this? You guys have kids, you understand this. You know what I'm talking about, right? School districts.
Oh, it's huge.
So I get it, but the fix and flippers know which properties are in the good school districts, and they know where their kids are going to get beat up. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. If it's in a neighborhood, I've seen good neighborhoods. We recently experienced with a property we did in Texas. It was like 2 streets off the perfect school district. It would have been $45,000 more. The guy was willing to give me 45 grand more if it was 2 streets over. Now, I can't control what street it's on, but I missed it. Now, I still made a ton of money, but like I left money on the table.
That was a doozy.
And a school district is just, I'm not telling you have to research the school districts, but like just a lot of times the person that bought there, if they got kids and they're trying to get out, find out if it's a school district problem, because you just want to know why. The more desirable the school district, the faster your property will sell. Now, let's see if we got any questions there.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay, I got it. So the other one is just good old-fashioned curb appeal. Now, keep in mind, guys, we are comping solely off pictures and data from the seller. If you got to get out and drive in a car to go comp a property, what advice would you give to them? You should be doing for dollars to do that. If it's on your way and do it, knock yourself out. But once again, we're only comping properties that we identified. We've identified motivation. Anything else, you're working for free. I cannot emphasize this to you. So curb appeal, what do I mean by that? Look at the pictures of the front of the house and give me your first impression. That's an appeal. I've looked at houses and they look like bunkers. It looks like a man built it without a woman's advice. And you know, it's like us guys sometimes build stick figures. We just want a roof over our head and want a TV. That house has no appeal for a wife, for kids, and the fix and flipper is going like, I don't have enough money or time. I would knock it down to do that. So those houses wind up being rentals. And you have to understand, if it's got bad or curb appeal, no matter what, I will keep it on the most conservative comp, and I might even do it off what we call a cash flow comp. So don't worry, guys. We're going to go through and show you how to do this. So the next one, we talked about condition. And when I talk about condition, guys, it's simple. You're looking off pictures and you're getting feedback from your sellers. That's all we're comping at this point. Is there a verification process? Yes. That's after you have it under contract, not before you have it under contract. I can't emphasize this enough. So pictures only. Now, I don't know about you guys, but the technology world, pictures are getting ridiculous. You could remove stuff out of pictures. You can change the color out of pictures. You can take a messy room and clean it in a stroke. So I can't emphasize to you enough. You got to make sure you're not getting punked on the pictures. And it happens a lot in wholesaling. They'll give you the best day on it. And then you go over the write the contract. You're like, oh my God. And let me give you, this is my favorite one. This is the one that I've learned a long time over. Pictures versus reality. That's what we deal with. This is the number one reason why all real estate contracts have a contingency period.
Yep.
And guys, this is the window that we work with as wholesalers, because I can't tell you, like if you've ever written a tight deal and you go out and look at it, or you send somebody out to look at it and you're like, dude, this isn't the house that I contracted. You're stuck. And the reality is you can't smell anything in a picture. And I'm trying to be nice about it, but sometimes you walk in a house and you get hit with this odor. You're like, wow, I know this. I know the smell of cockroaches. I know the smell of fleas. I know the smell of filth. And we seek houses out like this. You have to suck it up and not overreact. But you understand, most of the time, the house never really lives up to the picture. And that's your opportunity to get the discount. And that's why I don't want you to set up some crazy price in the beginning, because most of the time the houses have code violations, tax delinquencies.
The worst one that pictures will never show is smoking. You could kind of see yellow on the walls.
Yeah.
But
once you
I would
smell
tell you,
it,
check these smoke detectors. Usually they're supposed to be white. That's all I could say.
So I've been in houses, thousands, and it's a white wall. You think it's white. You take the picture off and there's just this beautiful white thing and everything's yellow. You're like, oh my God. I'm going to be honest with you.
You can't embarrass the seller.
You can't. But you have to. This is why we go for no, because if you guys knew the cost of what's the average to get the funk of smoke out of a house.
It's not funk, it's nicotine.
It's nicotine. It braces
on the
everything.
wall.
So you have to scrape the ceilings. You got to scrape the walls.
The vents.
Yeah. It's about 15, 20 grand just to get the smoke problem without even upgrading the house. So if you have a heavy smoke house, be aware of it. You're going to have to strip it down.
Not the good smoke house. The bad one.
Well, a lot of smoke going on in houses these days. So there's all sorts of smoke going on. But like when you have that odor, when I say the odor, man, like pictures don't do odor. Now, I want you to understand this. The one other thing I forgot to tell you on this is we have what we call oddball properties. I'm going to tell you, you wholesale long enough, you're going to get a property of like, my God, that guy was so easy. He said, sign the contract, come over. And then you look at it, everything's perfect. And you get so excited, you overlook your common sense. Oddball property. Let me give an example. In Port St. Lucie, when you go out west, there's on the electric grid, there's like power stations. What do they call those? They call them transformers.
Yeah.
You know, when it rains, zzz, or you got power lines going over it. Nobody on earth wants that in their backyard. I get these properties all the time. And you know what? If you miss it, you're going to be in trouble. Now, the problem is you'll never be able to sell them retail. They always wind up being rental houses. So know it ahead of time. If you got wires buzzing over it, the other one are billboards. So I've seen billboards going over the backyard of the
I've
house,
seen the worst of the houses on the busy streets,
or the ones that back up to like I-95.
or the ones that are literally like Walmart's next door and the house is really on the same street as Walmart. And it's just it.
And you know what they go, well, I have impact windows. I go, I know, but there's a 8-lane highway in your backyard. You can't get rid of it. There's nothing you can do, but make sure you factor it in your pricing. You can't see that in the comps.
Mm-mm.
And so I want you, and when you get an oddball property like that, or you see a property, I'm like, it just doesn't look right. Like the guy looks like he built it with his bare hands. You can't do traditional comping on those properties. And I will go look and see what can I get for rents. And then I'll look and see what I can do with the return. So everybody understand that on the oddball ones. I've been caught so many times with it. Now, when we were talking about the factors in the property. So we talked pictures of reality. So once you look, this is off pictures, guys, not in it. The first thing I look in the pictures is the kitchen, right? The kitchen the kitchen is basically going to tell you the biometrics of the house. Good, clean kitchen in good shape. Usually the rest of the house will follow. If the kitchen's rough, the most of the house will follow the same. And if the kitchen's completely outdated, I guarantee you the bathroom's outdated, the flooring's outdated, and the painting's 20 years old. So just take a look at the kitchen. So when I'm looking at photos, sometimes when they have it, I go to the kitchen first. And once they go, no, you just paint the cabinets, you'll be fine. Hey, guys, it needs rehab. Then it would be baths, kind of same things. And then the next thing, which is a big one, is flooring. And what do I mean by flooring? If I walk in a house, if I look at a pictures in a house and I see that shag carpeting, you know, that shag, I know if you can't afford to switch the carpeting, I know what the rest of the house is going to look like. And I know it just needs a full rehab. And cosmetic full rehab's not cheap. So that goes along the condition of the house, guys. It's real simple. I look at the kitchen first. End of story. Now, me and Zach haven't talked about anything structural in the property because that's going to go under condition. If you got an old roof, look at the roof. If it's more than 15 years old, especially in like the Southeast, you got to get it replaced because the fix and flippers can't get insurance for it and the end user won't buy it unless they can get it federally funded, and that's going to require insurance. So if you got an old roof, they want to insure it, it's going to be a problem. So, okay, the last part of this part, you ready? Is we get into the sale facts. And what do I mean by the sale facts?
I'm not big on this. You're bigger.
That's not. I'm just going to run through it real quick. Now, if a property is put on the market, it's publicly on the internet, the first thing you always look at is days on market. If a property just went on the market 1 or 2 days, you guys know those are properties we typically don't chase. In fact, I tell you to chase off-market property. Maybe I shouldn't talk about this, but I'm going to look at days on market, DOM. Once it starts to get aged, it's either overpriced or the property is it needs a lot of rehab and they missed the price, or a combo of both. Now, throw price cuts on it too. It means I give you that dog chasing the tail. So like my dog used to go out the backyard, he used to open the door and I'd have him come in and I couldn't get him. But what he did is my dog would chase its tail. And so when someone lists a property, say at 300,000, and say a realtor or someone else goes, it's really worth 225,000. After 30 days, they go, okay, well, drop it from 300 to 290. And then all of a sudden the market drops from the price is worth 225. It's now worth 210. And you can never catch up. It takes these people sometimes 3, 6, or even 12 months. That's a dog chasing its tail. I don't waste time on those types of properties. And here's my favorite. Remember we told you the best comp, the holy grail, is the sold comp. This is why. Realtors that list properties, I know this is going to be a massive shock to you. You ready? Realtors that list properties, a lot of times they're delusional.
You know what the kids say? They say they're delulu.
Delulu.
Delulu. That's what we call real. I call those. I was supposed to say bad.
Now, the worst case scenario is when the realtor's delusional and the seller's delusional. Don't even look at these props. They are not comps. No. They are fake. So say a comp of the property is like 225 and you see, oh, Rick, there's a comp for 325. That's a delusional realtor or seller. Yeah. Remember, you can list a property for billions, trillions of dollars. It's what it's sold for. That's all that really counts as the wholesaler. Anything else, you're
It's true.
wasting your time, and you have to understand that. Now, I think
They're delusional. They're crazy.
so, guys. Before we get into the actual physical comping, do not comp till seller motivation's uncovered. You're going to waste your time.
Say that again. Say that again.
Do not comp until you identify seller motivation. If you do, you're a realtor.
Yep.
And you're just reaffirming your realtor's license, and you're going to be stuck as a realtor. I always tell you, do not get your real estate license as a wholesaler. I've said it time and time again. Me and Zach have been 100% right based on all the, like, your hands are tied as a wholesaler if you have a licensed realtor. So what you thought was going to protect you is now going to hinder you as a wholesaler. But guys, if you only get one thing from this video, please take this comment right here. Do not comp until you identify that motivation, because it's a waste of time. You do it because you're uncomfortable. It makes you certain, and it keeps you busy. And if you heard me long enough, busy means you're broke.
Yep.
End of story. So I'm going to let Zach take it from here, and we're going to walk into, you want to explain?
Oh, yeah. I love
How to
guys, I'm going to show you how quick I'm a very quick at it, because you don't need to be crazy on this. So let's kind of go into it and actually start doing it. So I want everyone to give me a state or a city, and we go from there, and we can know what we can do, right? And so give me a city or a state, and I could show you exactly how to comp a property pretty quick. So let's see what we got here. I'm pretty excited about it. So let's get, okay.
I got to grab something.
Okay, go grab it.
Okay.
All right, we get in the middle here. There we go. All right. So don't even try, man. Okay, we'll get into Houston. Juan's just trying to troll me on Zillow. Comp Houston on Zillow. See what happens. That's always fun. Okay, let's do Somerset, Kentucky. Not bad. All right, let's do that. Let's go to Somerset, Kentucky, and let's test this out. I don't know where Somerset, Kentucky is. Let's check it out. Okay, yeah, we're not going to do that because it's got a population of 11,000. And it goes against what I preach here. So we're going to do, let's do Richmond, Virginia. I like that. I like it. All right. So let's just go to Zillow. Let me show you how to comp absolutely for free. So we're going to go to Zillow. Let's see. All right. Let's go to Zillow, Richmond, Virginia. And I need to find a regular house. So let's randomly choose just a random house. So Richmond, Virginia. Okay. So here's Zillow. Let's share my screen. All right. So we want to comp. The first free way to comp, I do like Richmond, Virginia. So this is pretty good. So we're going to go here, and we're just going to choose a random spot. So let's say, for example, we go on Green Ridge Drive, and we choose one of these houses, right? Let's remove the boundary. Let's go to solds. Okay, whatever. Let's say 854 is our comp now, right? Okay, cool. So we kind of have to do this in a weird way where basically we have to go look at properties around the area. So it's really not that complicated. So we can take some info from this, right? We could take that let's say our said property that we got is 1,120 square feet. It's a 3-1. So, all right, perfect. I don't need to look at pictures. I know it's right here. So built in 1978, 0.26 acres, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is go to sold, and then I can go by more. And if I just want to go really fast, sold in the last 12 months. All right, these are all the properties sold in the last 12 months. Good for us. This is our street. We can go street over, and we can see this property sold for 280. It was a 3-2 though. We don't have a 3-2. We have a 3-1. This is a more recent 3-1. It was 984, so 185. So we can do some quick math here. Let me pop up a calculator. And we can roughly figure out that that property sold for 185,000 divided by 984. That one sold for 188 a square foot. So we're gonna write 188, and I'm just gonna go really quick because I don't want to overcomplicate this. 3-1. Okay, that one sold for 260. I bet the pictures are pretty nice, but I'm gonna go quick. 260 divided by 247 a square foot. Let me look at that house for a second. That one's almost immaculate, but fine. And we want to look at the same construction. You see how this is basically kind of like a modular style home. We're not looking at any brick houses, anything like that. Decent. All right, 247, which is a lot different than 188. You got to remember that, right? And then from there, 250, that's in a 3-1. I think that's a very similar looking house, very similar square feet. 250 divided by, this is actually pretty easy, 236. So we add 236 to 247 plus 188, divide by 3, roughly get 223 a square foot. That's giving us an ARV of 235. So that's roughly where we're getting an ARV on a property like that for. Done. So, I mean, I don't want to complicate this, but like, I think I just randomly chose. I think people randomly thought I just chose that market. I mean, pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
So that's how you do it, really, like a really simple version of it. Now, there's actually some better websites that I think are really quick. They're actually kind of quicker. I really like Redfin. I think Redfin got sold. I'm not too sure, but let's do Green Ridge Drive, Richmond, Virginia. All right, let me find this one on Redfin. And I know I sound like a weirdo, but I actually think Realtor.com's got really good comping on it. It does. So if I go to Redfin.com, I actually like Redfin too. So the reason I like Redfin is like, okay, so we're just popping up a random property. They don't have good pictures. But one thing I'll tell you with Redfin is, okay, we got the sold price. We got all the info we want here, right? The cool part about this is it'll say nearby comparables. And I can just click on the map and I get a nice map view here. And I'm just telling you, realtors like having a little monopoly around comps. It's pretty dang good. I mean, it's not perfect, but do you see how it has the properties here and it says A, B, C?
Yep.
It's not bad at all. Like for a free website, I have zero gripes with this. Oh, what's this? Investor special. Oh, uh-oh. This looks like an ugly house. Let's check that out for a second. My Rick ADHD kicks in. But investor special, this is rough. Does not qualify for FHA, VA, conventional financing. Oof.
I'm sure their phone's blowing up.
Oh, I bet it's a smoking deal.
Fell off the chart there. It's a FSBO?
No.
I get about 300 calls in a minute.
I mean, it's hot when they don't show the inside pictures.
Oh, it's bad. I mean, it's probably just a shell.
I mean, it sold. Oh, it already sold. Dang it. I want to call that realtor. But here's the cool part. You ready for this one? Bought with Jenny Guao. Here's the coolest part about it, though. Ready? She was the buyer's agent on a nasty house like this.
Yeah.
Do you think she has good cash buyers?
Very good cash buyers.
She would definitely be the first person to reach out for cash buyers in Virginia for a realtor, right?
Yeah.
How would you go about that conversation? What would you say when you called Jenny?
I would just reach out to her and say, hey, listen, I saw you dealt with this property. I'm interested in buying properties in that area for cash. Or do you, I sell properties in that area. So if I have properties in there, I go, do you have any other cash buyers you represent? I can present you off-market properties and give you access to properties you would never see before. Is that something you're interested in? She's typically going to say, are you going to pay my commission? I go, I wouldn't think anything of it. I would pay your full commission. I'm looking to sell the properties quickly. Are you familiar with the assignment of contract? There's always an exchange of information with everybody we talk to. And if she says, absolutely, I know exactly how it works, stop freaking out about what you're going to pay him commission, because on average, you're going to get
12 grand. I don't care.
You're going to get 10 to 15% more, and you're buying speed. And the most important people underestimate is you're skipping the drama. Because listen, a real estate agent like that, they don't play. they're only going to represent people that execute and close and have
Yeah.
cash. So they've done all the vetting. They know what they want. And she's just bringing a transaction. Honestly, it's one of my favorite ways to do it. So listen, guys, we go out, we got to deal with cash buyers. We got to find out if they got cash. We got to find out if they're for real. We got to find out if they can handle the assignment of contract. And are you the decision maker? She's already made all those decisions. They've already been done. Most of the time, my favorite ones, they walk through the property, they give you a quick yes or no. They're like, can we close at the end of the week? Boom. And I'm getting more. So don't worry about the commission. It's well worth it. So if you tell them you're not going to pay their commission, they're not going to give you access to their clients that are great cash buyers. So keep it in mind.
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, the thing about I really like about Redfin is they'll tell you who's the buyer's agent, and you find ugly houses, or what I like to do is look at cheap real estate, like cheap houses, houses under 100 grand that sold. They're nasty.
Yeah.
Go look at the buyer's agent. That's a great little hack for everybody here. Now, there's one last part we didn't talk about here. And before I talk about it, I want to say, Stan wants to know, how do you comp a tear down? I'll be honest with you. If it has to be torn down, it's land value. Then we're talking about land wholesaling. So I guess we can talk about comping land for a second. I know that I'm going to get pushback on this, but I look at what the tax assessed value is, and I just offer half. I usually offer a little less than that, but that's just me. That's just me.
Like I'm in a county where you have to get permission to even knock down a condemned, to knock down the house. Like if it can be saved, they push towards saving it, making it historic. So you should know the temperature in the market that you're doing, if you can do that or not. And keep in mind, guys, demo ain't cheap. You got to get out big machinery. You have to get a licensed contractor that specializes demo. You got to get a permit. And then they have to recycle, like they have to separate the concrete from the wood. And on average, it can cost you 30 grand just to do a basic demo. And then the question is, can you keep the foundation? And most of the time when you're demoing it, you want a bigger footprint. So to rip up that concrete takes more, big, large equipment, big cat equipment. And to dump that concrete, even on the recycling, it's still expensive. So sometimes you can have a lot, and then some of you guys don't factor in the demo cost, and it's a pain in the butt. They got to sit out there and spray it with a hose. There's so many OSHA requirements. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and that's my favorite comment. I like to comp like an appraiser. Well, you're going to get paid like an appraiser.
Yeah, you know how long an appraiser takes to comp?
Oh,
hours.
And here's the thing about being an appraiser, Michael. I want you to understand this. Do appraisers buy houses? No. You want to comp like a buyer, like the cash buyer.
I think maybe he's saying he's being conservative like an appraiser. I'm okay in the vision of that.
Right. I don't know many concern. I mean,
no. But here's the problem with an appraiser. Every property that I've sold that needed financing, you know what the number one thing they comp the house off, other than basic condition? Put in the comments. What do you think an appraiser uses as their sole guiding tool for an appraisal? Like, what is the one thing they put a lot of weight into? They all do it because they ask me for it every time. And I think it should be illegal. I don't think this should be shared with the appraiser, because if you did, you could get their honest opinion. Now, Jonathan, they do look at sales, but guys, it's on here. Spit it out. They look at comps. You guys are missing it. It's like right on the tip of your tongue. I promise you. There you go, Jonathan. It's contract price. Can I have a copy of the contract? Isn't that defeat the purpose of an appraisal?
And they just want to be just above it, or
just below it, usually like that. And remember, if someone's putting down 25%, and they have a sale price of 400, if they comp it at 375, they don't get in trouble. Everybody's covered. And now hide the contract from them. They couldn't see it on market, MLS, or anything like that. They're going to struggle to give you a number, because then they actually have to do a real
comp. They have to work.
They have to work. And then
contract's 350, 355.
Have you ever seen the appraiser's report? It's like 15 pages of all these boxes of legal things. I'm like, dude, just spit the price out. And remember, my opinion of appraisal is a permission slip to a bank to make sure they're not over lending. That's all it is. It is not, actually, it's the furthest thing from a set price. And I've seen people manipulate contracts to trick appraisers. That's why I think it should be illegal to give them the contract price.
Oh, yeah. Depends who pays them, too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah,
Do you know there's a huge difference between a bank appraiser and if you hired a private one.
I agree. So the last part we didn't talk about, the biggest one, which I don't think really anyone talks about, is non-disclosure states. So for about 15% of the country, you cannot comp the way that we all taught you today. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
You can't get the actual sold prices because they don't disclose it, which is insane to me. It's kind of crazy. And only realtors or people with MLS access gets it. And this basically means, let's kind of share exactly all the non-disclosure states out here. There's actually some good, let me give a map to everyone on here so I know which are non-disclosure states. But pretty much, there's only like 3 big states that are non-disclosure. But if you go on Zillow, you're never going to find the sold prices. And it's crazy. The biggest one's Texas. Like for the vast majority, it's like Texas is like the one that really concerns everybody. But mostly it's going to be Louisiana, Texas. No one really cares about New Mexico or Alaska, Montana, Idaho, except for Des Moines. Wyoming's stupid too. North Dakota. Like really like Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas are the big ones, and Nebraska, I guess, to a point. But it's still a decent amount. I mean, it's not, I mean, Texas is the big one.
Yeah.
But basically, if you're in Texas, which a decent amount of people are wholesaling in Texas, especially virtually, you might think this is like a terrible thing, when really it's a good thing. Because if your sellers don't have a good data point, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. And so the problem is you actually need to have access to the MLS, and it costs thousands of dollars a year to have that information.
Mm-hmm.
This is why, and now I sound like I'm just telling you, but like you need a software. If you're wholesaling in Texas, you're going to need software for comping. It's straight up.
Hands down.
And if you're virtually wholesaling, you need a software for your e-signing too. So that's what I tell everyone. If you're wholesaling in Texas virtually, like get X Leads, it's $49 a month. You get e-signing and you get the non-disclosure states on the free limit skip trace, stuff like that. But like non-disclosure states, you're going to need a software that has MLS access. Cool part is X Leads, I believe, is the only software. I could be speaking on my butt, but I don't think I am. That is the only software that has the past 5 years of MLS photos compiled inside of it.
That's really cool.
So we actually have access to the last 5 years of MLS data. So if the property is posted on the MLS, the pictures for the past 5 years is stored on those servers.
Exactly.
Which is really cool.
Yep.
So Redfin and actually, I think Realtor.com is the only other one that has that, but obviously the realtors own that one. It's pretty dang cool. So let's share exactly kind of how this works. Again, you're going to pop up an address. You're going to go to comps. And what it's going to do is pop up this little portal for the comps. And it's pretty cool. So it pops it up right there. And the only thing I don't like about this, which I'll be honest with you, is this type of property. You just got to pull them and look at it. The thing is, this thing is kind of a manufactured home. So you got to make sure these are all manufactured homes. But there's a really easy way to figure it out really quick. So roughly, again, 3 1s, 3 1s, 3 1s, 3 1s. So we're going to say yes to the 3 1, yes to this 3 1. And you can go by, the cool part is you can create your own things, right? So lot size, we don't want to make sure that 200 plus or minus square feet. If this 1,100 square feet, we can do 1,300 square feet all the way down to 800. So we can make our own, it's a little much. So let's do 1,100, 9 and 1,300. Cool. Distance, half a mile. We only want to deal with 3 to 3 and 1 to 1. Past 6 months, I like to do a year. We could do 6 months. And year built, ours was the 70s, so nothing more than 1990.
It's important you don't put like a 2015 house in there.
No, and then we throw this all in here, right? Now this is 50. What's going on here? Sold in 2013.
Yeah,
so,
you can look at all the tags.
So this one right here, like for example, we can click that property, and it's going to pop up the MLS photos of that house. Now it's going to pop up in a new tab so it doesn't screw you up. So we're going to click that tab and it's going to pop up here. We got to be careful here. I mean, I love X Leads, but unfortunately it skip traces all the properties and YouTube doesn't like it. So deal with it. But as the photo on here, so pretty cool from the MLS, and it recently was sold for $239. So pretty cool. Got a new roof, all that stuff, so we can go on the comps here. But I think that's a good comp, so we'll add it in. All right, where are we at? Okay, so we go here. There we go. Okay, so okay, that one's good. 3-1. No. Yes. This one is 153. I'm gonna click that property and just look at it really quick. Oh,
Sold in December.
so now here's the thing. I can look at this property right here and be like, okay, is this a good comp or not? Well, I pop up the property. The cool part of XLeads has the MLS photos. I mean, that's as detailed as you're going to get. I mean, let me look at this. I don't think this pops up on, this definitely doesn't pop up on Zillow, right? The picture? Actually, they do. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. From the MLS. This one's a renovation, TLC, needs carport, all these things. House is being sold as is. Oh, God.
Here's your opportunity.
Where is, how is? So property's being sold as is, where is, how is? Oh, boy. I've never heard that.
I was just telling you, it's a piece of junk.
Yeah. So I probably wouldn't use that as a good comp. That's just personally me. So I would say no to that. And that's how you just do it really fast. So that one, no, no. Ooh, that one was a month ago. Let's click that one really quick. And looking at the comp on that one, again, XLeads, you got to stop skip tracing the property so quick and accurate. But I mean, it's a little too nice. I'll be honest. I wouldn't consider that a comp. I mean, that's as beautiful as it gets.
New deck, new.
I mean, that's
stairs.
like 260.
Deck.
I
Nice.
know. That's nice. So I probably wouldn't add that as a comp. It's just too nice. That's the other spectrum. That's way too nice.
But that's not sold, right?
That one's sold.
Oh, it's sold.
It sold a month ago.
Well, I mean, that's the potential if you fix a property. That's the vision we sell to our fix and flippers guys. That's what they want to do. When you see properties like that, I'm here to sell the dream, man. Like I just want to find the opportunity in there, because if it's recent, maybe that's a trend you're going in there. But it's now that would be the highest. Remember, that's the value. That 265 is going to be what you can sell your cash buyer on what they can do when they rehab it. So,
and roughly looking at this other property, this one's a brick house. So, I mean, I'm not going to show you. I mean, it's just a brick house. So I wouldn't really worry too much about that.
Yeah, it just sold.
Yeah, I think this computer's frozen. Here, let me check. Oh, I think it's frozen. Let's see if we're live on here. Where's YouTube on here?
We stuck?
I think we're still good. All right, cool.
Okay.
We got to restart this computer a couple times. All right. Yeah. So basically we're on here, and I would not add that one. So no. And now we're an average square feet of 213. So roughly, again, it already just does the math for me in here, which is pretty cool. So I got 223 on Zillow, and this is more accurate, 213. What's our property? 10056.
231.
So 225. I mean, pretty dang accurate. It's like you see every the year built right here. We have the living. We got all the stuff we need. So it's working pretty well.
Yeah, it's so your filters are on the top. And like I started in the beginning of the live stream, just kind of explained each one of them. So you can go back and refer to it in this video because it's live and it's recorded. And then you just go in and play around. But the idea is by using XLeads, you can quickly go through once you've identified motivation and you're working through it. And honestly, in 2 or 3 minutes, you can just put a number together. Stop trying to get it perfect because it doesn't matter, because you're not the person that's going to take it to perfection. You're identifying the opportunity and selling the vision. That is your assignment of contract. And then you're replicating the marketing activity to do this task over and over again. So overcomping will not make you any money. It's not going to convince your cash buyers to buy your contracts anymore. You got to get into a number and you got to sell them the opportunity. Now, a good opportunity like sells itself, and it should. A realtor has to almost oversell every property because let's be honest, most of them are lying. Most of them they'll do anything to get the sale. We can't do that in wholesaling. This is why I tell you, we are not in a sales business. We do have to educate and present the opportunity. And that's what we try to use X Leads to give you all the tools. So even if you have no experience, and so like on that type of property, Zach, what kind of offer should they make on it? How would they use X Leads to figure out? I've never, ever done a wholesale deal ever. We comped it. I don't know if you still have it in there.
Yeah, I got it right here.
How do they go in there and go, hey, what do I do? Like, what is the number?
Yeah, so I mean, just pop it up here, and you still should comp, but it's coming out here as the AVM. I mean, this one just recently sold for 260. So, like, I mean, obviously, it's not going to help you out the most, but we have a wholesale value of 170, which roughly means that's where you want to be at an offer. MAO is probably going to be around I'd say about 200 MAO. So 170 is our initial offer. That's where our wholesale X Leads wholesale value is, which means we make 30 grand. And so without doing any comping, you just throw that sucker into X Leads. It'll tell you should roughly be at about $170,000.
Now, we do have to take the condition into consideration, but I want to emphasize that wholesale number we give you guys is so you have a ballpark to see if it's even worth pursuing.
Yeah.
And listen, it is a target. A target means a goal. If you got every property under that wholesale, trust me, you're going to do phenomenal. But it's a ballpark. Remember, we make money. Say you get under contract at 185 and you got someone that buys at 200, you still make 15 grand. Don't go, oh my God, I didn't hit the wholesale number. I can't make it happen. You hit that number and the repairs are what you thought. You hit it out of the park.
Oh yeah.
And so we give you a target to give you room to make it work. I'm never going to give you the top number because if I give it to you, all go towards it.
Yeah.
And that goes to our explanation. It's just that simple. He found someone, they had motivation. Maybe they call him on a probate. Maybe the house has been vacant. And I just really need to sell it quickly. Can you give me a number? You gather all the information and go, hey, give me a moment, or you set up an appointment. You go in the X Leads, or can you do this while they're on the phone, Zach?
Yeah.
If you have the skill set, you can do it while you're on there, and it gives you the confidence. You can do it from your phone. You can do it on the app. You can do it anyways. You have tools that are just absolutely amazing. And then once I have an ARV, and then once I have a target goal wholesale number, how do we make this go together? And it's real simple, guys. This is so simple. Remember, a lot of you, I get it. It's like, hey, how do I do this? So we talked about how to do these. We talked about the wholesale price, the target price. All you got to do one more step. Yeah. One more step. Tell me what the next step. I don't even care if you don't have any experience. How do I approach this seller to make them an offer? It's simple, guys. You just go for no. Why? Because no leads to yes. When I give them a no, I can find out what their bottom line number is. I know it's going to be uncomfortable if you never did it before, but if you do that hard conversation up front, you can get a positive outcome so you can easily sell your contracts to cash buyers and get a ton of yeses. If you get an instant yes, you most likely overpaid for it. Yeah. You're going to work for free. You're going to get wildly frustrated, and you're going to waste a lot of time. The go for no resolves this. And you call it lowballing, call it whatever you want. We've just given you a simple strategy how anybody with no experience in wholesaling can make it work. You still got to get educated. But you can get educated and make money while you do this. I helped somebody out the other day. I was talking to him last night. They're only in this business 2 weeks and they $32,000 in their bank account, and the guy could barely pay his rent. And just because he focused on the marketing and identifying motivated sellers, if he waited to learn everything, that opportunity's gone. Yeah. And I'm telling you, most of you are waiting for the perfect scenario because that's what you were taught. That's what you understand. That's what I learned. It's wrong. I'm just telling you. Are you going to do opposite? Are people going to mock you and stuff like that? Who cares? Tell them to go mock your bank account when you put it in there. Would 20, 30 grand change any of your lives? And I'm telling you, it happens. Now, there's a lot of variables in there, but if you stick to it, you come up with a consistent marketing plan, you derive your own leads, and you target people off market, direct to seller that need to sell, these magical checks will happen over and over if you put the effort in. Without the effort, nothing's going to happen. And I can't make you do it. I want you to do it. The question is, will you do it? And motivation will get you started. I'm fine with that. But you got to go in and put in the work, put in the effort, and put in the time, put in the hustle to get ahead in your life. You are not going to pull up and there's going to be a duplex in your driveway. So guys, I've given you a simple instructions from how to underwrite these properties. We even showed you how to do it for free. And we showed you how to do it the easy with the X leads. It's up to you. So if you got no money, get going. You should be excited. I want to change your life, but I need you to put in the work. Me and Zach can't put in the work for you. We've already put in the work and we still put in the work every day. It is up to you. I told you, just get started. Get that first deal. Get some money in your account. Then make it happen again and show the world you didn't get lucky. Because people who put in the work and do the hard stuff, they get lucky over and over. That's what, oh, you're so lucky. It's not luck, guys. Luck is randomly. Luck is a lotto. And we know how lottery winners, they never know what to do with the money anyways. So as you go along this journey, I believe the plan's designed as you learn as you go. So if you're supposed to do life that way, why would wholesaling be any different? I want to show you how to do it, man. Like the key in wholesaling is always going to be marketing and locating and connecting with the motivated seller. And it's simple as that. You can take this video alone and go out and make an offer on a property today. There is no excuse. Are you scared? That's fine. Admit it. Just move forward. If you're scared, you either go into it or you're going to repel. You're going to do A or B. What type are you? It's up to you.
Oh, yeah. So, Jordan, sorry. Alex says, Zach, can you put clerk of the court data in X leads to skip trace? I'm having issues. So your main issue on doing that, really quick for anyone, is if you go into X leads right here, you go here, you click upload CSV, you download our sample file. And if you ever look at the sample file we have, if you upload any government data, you have to do it by street address, city, zip, and state. So street address, city, state, and zip. If you try to throw anything else in it, it's not going to work. So use that template. You can ask AI to do it. It'll work really simple on there. Jordan says, hey, Zach, got a property under contract, skip trace ready, sold. Wait, what?
Haven't found a buyer. Skip trace
recently. Skip trace recently sold me?
I think he was hunting buyers. He skip traced buyers.
Oh, okay. Haven't found buyers. You JV in Houston. Yes, we do JV. I don't know how anyone knows our JV link at this point, but if you want to JV with me, go to sellmypaper.com. Get the deal sold ASAP. Sellmypaper.com.
It's active. We have a crew working on them.
Oh, yeah.
But just submit the facts, as much detail as you can in your contact information.
And we'll text you.
Yeah.
So if the property's too high, we'll text you what price it's got to be at or email you. But yeah, if you have a deal you want to JV with us, let's make some money. Sellmypaper.com. We're using some beta things from X Leads in there for some manual underwriting. So, well, AI underwriting. So we're pretty excited about it. So yeah, sellmypaper.com. And then we're mainly looking at the underwriting too to test it out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, feed us some deals. We like it. Sellmypaper.com. If you want to send a JV with us, love to see it. Will you JV in Washington State? You can send a deal. Like we're going to do, it's all 50 states. They just have to be good deals.
Yeah. If you got a good deal, the answer is yes. If you got a bad deal, it's.
But I'm just letting you know, we're disappointing with X Leads. So it's like, it's pretty easy.
Yeah. So you can either let us do it or you can do it yourselves with X Leads.
There you go.
Either or.
And Turnbuckle Chatter, you can if you want. You would have to give the address out to every 1,000 people on here, which means your deal is going to get stolen. That's your main issue. I will tell you though, if there's no other similar comps, you should just roughly figure out a rough ARV and then just lowball them from there.
Yep.
Stop. I wouldn't be overthinking it. DeAndre says, Zach, what do you do when you set an appointment to give an offer and they don't answer? Call them back, or just keep calling them until they answer every other day.
I don't know if you're talking about person or over the phone.
It says virtually right here.
Oh, virtually. Yeah. Now you just got to stay on it.
Yeah.
And that's the value of the ninja mode inside of X Leads, because you can do some automations. Now, I would keep pounding, but if they ghost you, that's where you put them in your follow-up sequence. So
we got Ace in here. If you're in Richmond, he's a good guy in Virginia. He's definitely a great wholesaler there. He's awesome. Done 4 JVs already done this year. There we go. Love to see
he's
it.
a beast on that.
It's my city. Awesome. Let's see here. Is there software out there designed for wholesalers that would help? That's funny. Everyone knows, actually.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's see. Is this still live? Yes.
I think it's live.
I think it's live.
It's live.
Let's see here. They just comped on mine. I got a line of credit, and they lowballed me 150 on a 175 comp because he saw I bought it for 50. Yeah, Aaron, that's woo. That one's rough. These appraisers, if they see you bought it for half with the actual value,
they really like. I've had them ask me for. I need all your receipts. I need all this.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even get in an argument with an appraiser because they just
the egos are.
It's really bad. They really get upset, and there's just no answer for it. They can't understand it. And guys, this is why I love to do the assignment of contract, because your agreement's private. I don't have to show it to an appraiser. I don't have to get permission from a bank. Once you close on it, you actually screw the comp up. And I'm not like, there's people who tell you how to close on it. That there's all these tricks. They're all games. I don't want to be a fix and flipper. I don't want to do that. So the problem is when you close on it and you think you're going to be your own, fix and flipper, then you're going to have to sit on the property usually 3 months. And then honestly, until it's seasoned for like a year, you're always going to be penalized for it. And the appraiser is always looking, they're like, there's got to be something wrong. I'm not going to do it. And then they tell the bank, and banks, they're horrified of like flipped properties. Now, the only exception, and then like between if you do FHA and VA, but they're all going to require multiple appraisers. And if you think one appraiser is a pain in the butt, two's a nightmare.
Oh yeah.
And so they're going to do 2 appraisals. They're going to take the average. It's going to push your numbers down. And the crazy part is your end buyer, they're like, I'll pay you 200. You go, yeah, but we can only give you 150 for it. And then you always think you're cute. I go, I have a creative solution. I'll write a second mortgage. You can't. It's illegal. It's considered fraud. You cannot issue a second mortgage at the table on any federally insured mortgage because it's written in the stipulation of the mortgage, and you can be held liable for it.
Oh yeah.
And you don't want to do that. So the problem is you are handcuffed when they close on these properties, because then to get the most money, you usually have to get financing. And most financing, when they look at a property, they see that it's recently been sold, it gets flagged and it goes to a special underwriter. It gets multiple appraisers. And I've done that way many times. I don't even bother doing that. Now, the only exception are the high-end properties, because they don't care. And that's massive, massive risk. And we don't talk about that. So guys, wholesaling is always going to be the art of finding deep discounted properties and sell your contracts quickly to cash buyers. You don't have interference from banks, appraisers, hopefully realtors, unless they're bringing you a cash buyer. And you can do it over and over. And you can do as many of these properties as you can physically find. Your specialty is always going to be in the marketing. It's not going to be in comping. That's why you need to understand. Remember, comping is the math. It's the algebra that you fell asleep in high school on. Now you push that aside. The value of what we do is we connect with the homeowner, we find the motivation, and we help solve their problem. Now comping, what we just taught you, is just putting the math together with it. Get that connection, go for the no, bridge the gap, get their counter, and close it. And what do I mean close it? Show them you're confident you can do it, keep answering their questions, and just help them.
Yeah, I agree. Jelson says, hello, Rick. How do I explain assignments to agents? First, you have to bring up the money, and then you explain.
Yeah. So, so if a agent is familiar with listen, I don't sugarcoat this. Are you familiar working with assignment of contract? And just listen to the reaction. Remember, people's initial reaction, listen to them. They mean what they say. If they go, what are you talking about? I already know I'm not going to waste my time. So whenever, just so you know, and I even went through this, like the first times I was their property, people are shocked you can do an assignment of contract outside of wholesalers. They think it's illegal. They think it's a scam. If you ever have a problem, send them to your title company, have them explain it to them, understanding they will not be the buyer of your property because they're scared to death. Now, once they miss out on a few opportunities and they go, I got to pay 30 grand more on MLS, they'll open to you the second, the third, or the fourth time. But simply ask them, are you familiar with the assignment of contract? You ever bought a house that way? And if they have a negative reaction, just move on, give them to your title company and go find another buyer. Just, I don't waste my time. You got to hit them in the mouth with it because and they go, yeah, I'm familiar with it. It's easy. He goes, you're going to have the assignment of contract. Now, guys, understand assignment of contract. Either you're familiar with it or you're not. If you're not, it seems foreign and they're scared of it. And if a realtor's scared of an assignment of contract, the buyer's going to be even 10 times more scared. So either they've done it or they haven't. If not, have your title company train them. I don't train people on assignment of contract. If they don't understand it, I send them to my title company or I have them call my title company to explain it. Because when it comes from a third party, they feel like it's validated. If it comes from you, it feels like a scam. So that's the difference. So just go out and ask it. That's the easiest way.
There you go. I had somebody, we're live on TikTok. Someone just said, they said, what we're teaching is a Ponzi scheme. Let me explain what a Ponzi scheme is. A Ponzi scheme is if I'm asking you for money.
Yeah.
And then technically I give it to someone else and then, I just kind of kick it down the curve. That's Ponzi scheme, right?
Yeah.
What I'm asking you to do here is to not give me money. Go talk to sellers, get a lowball offer, get it under contract for free because we have it at freewholesaling.com.
Mm-hmm.
Then you find a buyer on Zillow, Realtor.com, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Facebook. And then you assign it through a title company and you get a $20,000 check. What part of that line is a Ponzi scheme? Oh, no, this guy says, no, it's a pyramid scheme. That's a great one, too. So let me ask. These are TikTok people, but it's like, what part of the pyramid scheme is this where I don't ask for you for money and you make 20 grand? What part of the pyramid? Yeah. What part of that pyramid is if the pyramid's a dollar sign, then sure.
Yeah.
But it's just people that don't understand.
I'm sure they.
But the thing is, I love it when people try to call me out, like who don't understand. It's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, it's going on 23 years strong.
But it's good to say that because most of everything you see online is a scam.
Yeah.
But like when you hear someone that says what you're saying is fake or a scam, it's like a scam indicates I take money, you get nothing back.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you for money. I'm just telling you to go do something. You were talking to a guy yesterday. I just want to get into it.
Yeah.
Spent $19,000 in coaching, mentorship, and masterminds and workshops.
Yep.
And he got nothing out of that. That, in my opinion, institutes a scam in wholesaling. Mm-hmm. Give me money and I promise you'll get rich. I look at that as a scam. What we're doing here is teaching you wholesaling for free. If anyone doesn't believe me, just go to freewholesaling.com. Go inside of the 21,000 people in the free community and just ask them, is Zach a scam? And you go from there. But like the thing about this is I'm not asking for money. And whenever understand that you're going to be asked for money outside of me and Rick, every other person that you deal with in this industry is going to not ask for you for money. They are going to go on their hands and knees and beg for you to give them money. Just understand that.
So we give it away for free. So, and by the way, when we do it, you got to go to a bona fide title company with a lawyer. That's insured and licensed and regulated by the state. A lot of times, even agents involved. Trust me, dude, it would be hard. If not, I've gotten away with the greatest caper in 23 years. And by the way, this has been going on hundreds of years. This is legit. Now, are there fraud people in our business? Absolutely. But go look at the people that sell stuff that you don't get anything in return. We're talking about actually going out, finding bona fide assets that need help. You identify them, that's the marketing, and you sell it to people that actually want it. So
it drives me crazy.
I'd love to know what you do for a living.
But like the thing I like to say is like, this is another just reminder of that, like most of wholesaling is a scam because most of it's asking you for 14 grand and then they'll give you the secret snake oil to make you rich. I'm being honest with you. We teach you for free and we're trying to be the only ones that don't do this. But guys, don't be giving 14 grand. Just go get rich and then go put it into tools and stuff. Presspound's got a great question. So dealing with comping, if I just focus on the wholesaling price on X leads, it doesn't really matter. I would not just focus on the wholesale value. I mean, you technically could, but I would say still look at the comps, still spend a minute looking at comps. That will not hurt you.
Yeah.
But the wholesale value is roughly where you want to just make an offer. But
Yeah,
I wouldn't make it your cure all be all. Now the next update we're coming out with X leads. I'm not going to get into it. But currently right now, I'd still look at everything.
Yeah.
That's all I could say.
So that's your target to put it under contract, or like that's a goal. And remember, you're still going to have to take the ARV, which is the retail value. And that's what your cash buyers are looking at to buy your contract. And if there's not a difference, there's no incentive for them to buy your contract. And that's all we're trying to teach you in X Leads on how to do it. See, most people assimilate comping like realtors, and there's a different way they do it because they have to be perfectly precise because they're competing with 10 other realtors to list the house, and they have to show the data. We're the opposite. We're going to go for a deep discount. So why am I going to sit here and struggle in the last 5 or 8%? I don't care. Look at it as gravy on top of it if you can sell it for more. In a hot seller's market, you can get away with that. But for the most part, you have to be somewhat conservative. You have to have a disparity from what you put it under contract for and what the market value, and you have to understand, you have to write in the repairs in the property. Some of you guys just skip the repairs. Oh, I got $100,000 spread. I go, it's got $100,000 in repairs. You just paid retail for a property. So you have to understand the target wholesale, very clear. That's what you're targeting to put under contract for. And then the ARV, that is the potential of the property. What are the repairs? And that's how you write the offer. It's just that simple. And for the first time, you can pull it up while you're talking to the seller or get back with them. But guys, don't comp every property, just the ones that have motivation, the ones you identify that need to sell. Avoid the ones that just want to sell.
Exactly. Marie says, don't focus on the reason I say that is I'm on Instagram and TikTok a lot. And, these will get millions of views, these videos.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I made 50 grand in a month, in like a month on one deal. Like, and it's all true. And then I got all these people come to the live stream like, oh, and everyone hops on these streams scared. They're like, oh no, I'm about to get sold. They're like, wait, this guy's not selling me.
Yeah.
And then you have to explain that. Okay, guys, like FYI, everyone's trying to sell you outside of here. And so I have to let, the thousands of new people who come in every single day to let them know. That's why I said, everyone go to freewholesaling.com. Also go to zachdiscord.com. Rick is going live again Friday. So double trouble. He went live last Friday. Then after that, I should be going live probably next month, every single Friday, just me on the Discord. But go to zachdiscord.com. There's exclusive Friday night live streams that are completely free. You got to be in the Discord community. Go to zachdiscord.com. Rick is hosting it tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
I have a good time.
Before he goes to bed.
Yeah, right before I go to bed, man.
It's going to be really fun, guys. I invite everyone on there. It's absolutely free. Want to know when is the next X Leads update coming? We have 4 out of the potential, I'm not going to say the rest, done. It's 2 things that's all I could say. We got 2 very exciting things going on that we just still, we're 95% there. And then one says, will you raise their, someone said that to me the other day. They said, Zach, I was going between your software and another guy's software, and theirs was $140 a month and yours was $49 a month.
Yeah.
I thought that because the other one was $100 more a month, it was just more valuable. I said, you know what? That's I should just jack up the prices.
Yeah.
And then people think it's worth more. Guys, let me know. Should I do that? Should I just triple the prices overnight from $49 a month to $150?
Well,
do it.
They're so used to everybody in the industry doing that. Like,
I'll do it. Should we do it? I don't know. Should I raise prices? I don't know. Maybe I should just triple them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can we call it tariffs? It's the tariffs, guys.
Wholesale tariffs.
Guys,
they already get hit with enough tariffs.
Guys, it's $49 a month. Just go there, guys. The reason is $49 a month. I could put that thing $150 and it would probably get the same amount of signups because you just can't get free unlimited skip tracing.
You can't
e-signing,
touch it.
The dialers, the AI outbound and inbound. Well, inbound right now, outbound coming soon, and all these other exciting things. Like, I mean, just saying. And 15,000. You don't get 6. You get 15,000. We're not getting into this right now. But guys, we're pretty excited about that, guys. If you want to know more about X Leads, we have the X Leads live streams every Saturday morning. I'll be hosting it. Go to the X Leads on YouTube. Subscribe there. I go live every Saturday just talking only about X Leads. But like always, guys, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe. Stop over copying.
Come on, guys. You got it.
Did you understand that?
I think they got it.